This 90-day fiancé couple's marital trouble claims just don't add up. There is one 90-day fiancé couple whose marital trouble claims aren't adding up. 90-Day Fiancé Season 11 just wrapped up, and Shekina, Garner and Sarper Güven's marriage was in a very hot and cold place. Shekina and Sarper were originally featured in 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way Seasons 5 and 6, when the pair were trying to figure out what they wanted their future to look like. Despite which, the pair decided to get married. However, when they showed up to the Season 11 tell-all, they had a lot of resentment towards one another. Sarper had moved out for 10 days, less than a month after their wedding. They spent the night before the tell-all in separate rooms, and Shekina spent Christmas alone. However, they may be putting up a false front. Sarper doesn't rely on Shekina in America. Shekina said Sarper has more assets than her. Shekina and Sarper were painting an interesting financial picture leading up to 90-Day Fiancé Season 11. The pair had an agreement that Sarper would pay for Shekina's trips to Turkey, since she was doing all the traveling. However, it was unclear how Sarper afforded that given he is only a fitness instructor and lost half his clientele when Shekina said he couldn't train females. On Shekina's side, she came off as very rich because she was able to afford plastic surgeries, put her daughter through boarding school, and live a lavish-looking LA lifestyle. But during 90-Day Fiancé Season 11, when Shekina and Sarper were talking to Shekina's friends and the idea of a prenup came up, there was some alarming news. Shekina said a prenup would be wise, but Sarper was very against it. Shekina protested that a prenup would help Sarper too, since he had more assets than her. So in Season 11, when Sarper says he is relying on Shekina, it doesn't really make sense. It seems like the dynamic and portrayal they are trying to show is not entirely accurate when it comes to their finances and how they arrange them. Sarper being a divorcee was convenient news. Sarper said he never loved anyone but Shekina. Even though Shekina and Sarper had been on 2 seasons of The Other Way, there was a huge piece of news that fans didn't find out until Season 11. The pair had previously dropped the bomb that Sarper had a child that he never saw, and that Sarper wanted a child with Shekina. However, that storyline and huge conversation were dropped in favor of a different narrative. In Season 11, Sarper divulged that he had been married before. Usually, that means someone is in love, but Sarper has sworn up and down that he's only ever loved Shekina. Sarper being a divorcee was convenient news because it added another layer to his and Shekina's drama. It almost seemed fabricated since Sarper being a player before Shekina was an idea that heavily pushed between the pair. So when Shekina and Sarper detail their marital problems, it's hard to tell whether they are setting the optics up to echo how Sarper felt about his first divorce, which was that he regretted it. Sarper and Shekina were spotted with Sarper's parents. Things are better than they're letting on. Another reason why Sarper and Shekina might be fooling 90-Day Fiancé fans is because, during the tell-all, they came back together in a mushy way after an ugly fight when Sarper gave Shekina an overdue sizable wedding ring. The gesture seemed planned and is suspect considering how much disdain they had for one another shortly before that moment. Moreover, Shekina and Sarper were recently spotted by a 90-Day Fiancé fan, via u/Polish Snake 2 on Reddit, with Sarper's parents. The foursome were stateside as they were catching a flight from Miami to LA. Things must be better than they are letting on if Sarper's parents, whom he is very close to, were able to come to America and visit the pair. The 90DF alumni couple seem to inflate their issues on screen, when things aren't in peril in real life. Sarper and Shekina want to retain the 90-Day Fiancé spotlight. Which show is in their future next? Shekina and Sarper could have an angle to the tactic of high-emotion drama on screen versus a relatively normal life off-screen. They could be trying to retain their 90-Day Fiancé spotlight by coming up with new angles and dynamics in their relationship that lead them to have strong reactions that draw viewers. With their alleged marital problems, Shekina and Sarper could be gearing up to try and be cast on the 90-Day, The Last Resort spin-off, which is a therapy-style show. Shekina is also no stranger to reality TV, as she was previously on Baggage and Millionaire Matchmaker, so her goal may be to retain her celebrity. Moreover, there were rumors that Shekina, Sarper, and her family would get their own spin-off, as her family had a Kardashian-like vibe. In any case, Sarper and Shekina may be trying to present themselves as authentically as they can, and they have as many wild problems as they portray. However, there are certain things that happen on screen versus in real life that don't add up. The 90 Day Fiancé franchise gives many cast members with played-out and predictable storylines screen time after time, and Sarper and Shekina, regardless of their authenticity, may be one of them. 90 Day Fiancé's Sarper and Shekina reveal where they stand after explosive tell-all special, exclusive. "We're together," Shekina exclusively shared with us weekly at the 10th anniversary event of Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald on Wednesday, June 25th. "Listen, we're a real couple, so we go through real ups and downs. Right now, we're up. Tomorrow we might be down. We don't know." Before stepping out at STK restaurant in Westwood, California, the couple admitted that they started the day down. But after a few hours, things were back to looking promising again. "We're Scorpios, so it makes perfect sense, right?" Shekina told us. "We love hard, fight hard." Part 1 of the 90 Day Fiancé Season 11 Tell-All special aired on June 22nd. During the explosive episode, Sarper revealed that Shekina kicked him out less than a month after their wedding and spent 10 days in a rental after they got into another fight. Now that the dust has settled, the pair are trying to focus on the positives of their relationship. "Our ideal date night is in bed," Shekina shared with us. "We're doing a hardcore bed rot. We're literally watching our trashiest shows, eating the most disgusting American snacks." The pair agreed that they are guilty of watching too much Love After Lockup while enjoying their beloved frozen yogurt. When asked to share what they admire most about each other, both Shekina and Sarper were quick to praise the other, even if things get a little crazy. "I call her evil baby," Sarper said. "Sometimes so innocent, sometimes can be an evil bitch. I don't know what I'm dealing with. I love her." Shekina added, "I love his cute little face. He's just such a little baby right now. He can turn very evil, very fast. Don't be disguised by this sweet face." As for where they stand with the other couples, perhaps it's safe to describe it as up and down, just like their marriage. "We are good with real couples," Sarper teased before referencing 90 Day Fiancé's first throuple. "Sincere, real couples. Everyone, maybe millions, have fantasies of threesomes. That's a fantasy of people, but after this season, even I don't want one. We got into a fight." 90 Day Fiancé star Shekina reveals why she didn't travel with Sarper for the tell-all episode. 90 Day Fiancé Season 11 Episode 19, Tell-All Part 1, premiered on TLC on June 22, 2025. The reunion episode brought back all the couples one last time to share updates on their status and reflect on what happened during the season. Shekina and Sarper, who got married at the end of the season, were surprisingly at odds with each other during the episode. They discussed their recent fights, with Sarper even revealing that Shekina kicked him out of the house during Christmas week in 2024. On a recent episode of Radio Andy's Reality Checked, the 90 Day Fiancé couple reflected on their tell-all appearance and opened up about their distant attitudes toward one another. Shekina revealed that they had a fight just before filming the tell-all episode. The argument left her feeling bitter, which is why she didn't want to travel with him or sit next to him during the shoot. "We got into a fight. We actually, before leaving LA, I even messaged producers. I said, I don't want to be on the same flight as him. I don't want to stay in the same hotel. I'm not arriving with him. I don't want to sit on the couch with him at the tell-all," she stated. 90 Day Fiancé couple Shekina and Sarper open up about their recent fallout. In their interview on Radio Andy's Reality Checked, 90 Day Fiancé couple Shekina and Sarper opened up about the state of their relationship during the time they were filming the tell-all episode. Shekina revealed that after getting into a fight with Sarper, she didn't want to be near him. So before leaving for the tell-all shoot, she informed the producers about their fight and made it clear she didn't want to travel with her partner to LA, nor did she want to sit next to him during filming. The producers eventually managed to calm her down. They agreed to arrange separate hotel rooms and book faraway flight seats, but convinced Shekina to at least sit on the same couch as Sarper. They were like, okay, couch, same couch, can we please do that? Separate hotel rooms, that's fine. You got to be on the same flight, we can change where you're sitting, the 90-day fiancé star said. Shekina added that at the time they were going through a particularly rough patch in their relationship. She explained that ever since the beginning of their marriage, it felt like they were constantly moving from one difficult phase to another. During some of those periods, she revealed that Sarper even moved out of the house. However, Sarper chimed in to claim that he doesn't leave voluntarily, but that Shekina kicks him out after their fights. Shekina admitted that she did tell her 90-day fiancé partner to leave after one of their fights. However, she emphasized that it was getting hard for her to deal with such kinds of rough experiences. But yeah, I mean during the tell-all, we were hitting a rough patch at that time, and it was hard to go through that rough experience separately, especially at the beginning of it, because you're meeting all this conflict and adversity from other couples, and to not be a united front. Meeting that together just made it worse, she added.